Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and industry enthusiasts, a very warm welcome to the FASTNEX India 2024 conference. On behalf of Messe Stuttgart India, I, Oindrila Ghosh, the head of marketing and communications at Messe Stuttgart India, welcome you all to the FASTNEX India Conference 2024. Today's sessions on the topic of fastening the future, emerging trends and technologies in the industrial fastener market is an important discussion for the industry. Fasteners, the unsung heroes of the industry, play a crucial role in holding everything together. Today, we have the privilege of hearing insights from renowned experts who have been on the forefront of understanding and navigating this evolving landscape of industrial fasteners. Today's conference is a resounding testament to our unwavering commitment to leading the change in the industry advancements within the Indian fastener and fixing industry. Today, we embark on a global journey, sharing profound insights that are poised to propel the growth of the fastener and fixing industry in India and the world. Our agenda is packed with topics that go beyond mere discussion. They are the building blocks of inspiration and the guiding lights that will navigate us towards where the future of innovation, sustainability, and efficiency in the industry stand tall. Prepare yourselves for a day filled with thought-provoking conversations, enlightening presentations, and shared visions that chart the course of collective success in the industry. Let us dive into the realm where ideas converge and collective wisdom paves the way for future where the fastener and fixing industry not only survives but thrives. Fasten your seatbelts, for today is a celebration of progress, collaboration, and the unwavering spirit that defines the Indian fastener and fixing industry. I would request Mr. Mukesh Kharia, Division Director of Messe Stuttgart India, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
First of all, thank you so much for being here. Messe Stuttgart is completely honored and we feel privileged that you took some time from your busy schedule and tried to come on our request. So thank you everyone. So I'm not a technical guy, so I'll not be able to speak on any technicalities which are associated with the fastener fixing industry. But yes, we as a country are moving towards a 5 trillion economy and where manufacturing is playing a major role. Today we are standing on a place where everyone or every country is looking at us, what India is going to deliver. There are various developments in the industry where they are going to shape the future course of events. For example, we are transitioning our journey from diesel vehicles to electric vehicles. So, okay, we are transitioning ourselves from all the petrol or diesel-based vehicles to electric vehicles. But the major component which are used, they also need to be changed. It is where fastener fixing industry plays the major role. They require specific kind of dimensions. They require specific fasteners and fixing things. So that is why fasteners and fixing industry is nowadays very much pivotal if we look any manufacturing industry. To complement this, we are going to organize this conference today where our esteemed speakers are there, which are from, everybody knows them if you are into fastener fixing industry. So first of all, I would like to thank you all and also welcome you on and your support which enabled us to shape this event at this stage and of course very short span of time. So I would like to thank everyone, all the association, Fastener Manufacturer Association of India, FAI, and all the members who took some time and who gave us so much support that we could shape this event. So I welcome you all once again and thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind words, Mr. Kharya. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening session of today's FASTNEX 24 conference. Here, we will delve into a pivotal topic that sets the tone for the journey: India's readiness for manufacturing high-quality fasteners, meeting global demands. In the next few hours, this session will explore the facets crucial for our industry's growth, from assessing India's manufacturing capabilities to delving into quality control and assurance practices. We'll navigate the landscape of addressing supply chain challenges. The session will also spotlight the imperative of investment in technology and innovation, and the significance of building strategic partnerships globally. Finally, we'll discuss market competitiveness and strategies for cost-effective production. So without further ado, let's extend a warm welcome to our distinguished speakers who will share their expertise and insights on these critical subjects. Their knowledge and experiences promise to enlighten and inspire us all. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Abhijat Sanghvi, President, Fasteners Association of India. Can we have you on the stage, please, sir? Mr. Kuntal Amin, owner, m.k.fasteners, and Mr. Jeet Desai, director, Torq Fasteners and Vadilal Desai and Company. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to welcome our first speakers. We will also be joined by Mr. Narinder Bhamra, President of FMAI. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Bhamra. Thank you all for joining us today. We are honored to have you present as eminent speakers who are the creme de la creme of the fastener and fixing industry in India. Their unparalleled expertise will illuminate the trends and innovations set to shape the industry's future. So let me take a brief minute to introduce our distinguished speakers. Mr. Abhijat Sanghvi, a second-generation entrepreneur in the fasteners industry, brings over 30 years invaluable experience to the table. As the esteemed president of FAI, he stands as a recognized and respected name in the fastener and fixing world. Welcome, Mr. Sanghvi. Mr. Kuntal Amin, owner and managing director of m.k.fasteners, embarked on his career at the age of 8, mastering cold forging and transitioning from machining. His company played a crucial role in collaborating with organizations like the Helicopter Division and DRDL, contributing to indigenization efforts and missile projects. With a diploma in mechanical engineering, Mr. Amin's dedication to automotive parts and fasteners remains unwavering. Welcome, Mr. Amin. Mr. Jeet Desai, MBA Finance, commenced his career as an investment banker with Standard Chartered Bank before transitioning into the family business at Torq Fasteners LLP. With a background in importing and sourcing fasteners globally, he expanded the business to include fasteners and manufacturing in India in 2018. Mr. Jeet strategically caters to OEM customers in India and has recently ventured into exporting to other countries, leveraging his extensive network with top global fastener manufacturers. We're very happy to have you here, sir. Mr. Narinder Bhamra is also a very, very well-known name in the world of fasteners and fixings. He is the president of FMAI, an organization known within India to be one of the foremost associations when it comes to the fastener and fixing industry. Mr. Bhamra has led delegations to events like Shanghai Fasteners Fair and engaged with global leaders, contributing to the industry's growth. His accolades: being elected as the president of FMAI for 7 consecutive terms and representing trade and industry at various platforms with official from the central and the state government is worth mentioning. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together once more to welcome this illustrious panel of speakers. Without further ado, the stage is yours, gentlemen. Let the insights and inspirations begin.
Good morning to all the distinguished panelists here and the wonderful audience. It's a pleasure to be speaking, be moderating this session with not only industry veterans, but a lot of them, all of them are good friends of ours. So, we sit and talk to each other quite often on industry topics, and it's a good time to do this on a panel like this. Let's just dive deep into the topic straight away. Firstly, Mr. Ajay Kumar Bajpai, who was another speaker, he is not going to be there for certain topics within the discussion were addressed to him, which we will sort of discuss interactively among each other later on, since we thought he had the expertise to address those. Let's start with breaking up the topic into three intertwined, sort of related issues or matters as such. And the first one is when you talk of the topic itself, which is India's readiness for manufacturing high quality fasteners and meeting global demands. So let's start with first the India story, which is one part of it. And everybody knows, the India story is big and strong, and it's going to get bigger and stronger in the next decade. With everybody looking at India as one of the strongest global manufacturing hubs, and our GDP outshining the others. We're set to be the third largest economy by 2028. The India story is very strong, and that will correlate to global demand for us anyway, including when I talk about us, I'm talking about the fastener industry. So we are already gaining in a major way, where a lot of countries are looking at India, because the two primary other countries right now, which are China and Taiwan, are already a bit on shaky grounds. China, for reasons known to most, including some anti-China sentiment, anti-dumping, and Taiwan because of a question mark of how the geopolitical situation will pan out. So India stands to gain from this. And our industry is now, as we look more into and trade shows that we see, and in different different people that we meet, or different companies that are now more and more willing to source out of India, that's precisely the reason is that we are seen as a new alternative option. So from the India story point of view, from the fastener industry point of view, the opportunities are massive, which comes to the big point: are we ready? And is India capable of sort of equipped completely to handle this global demand and respond in the positive way that we want? Having said that, now I'm going to address the topics that break the topics that we had, addressing the bigger issue. And starting from, I also wanted to mention about the structure of the Indian fastener industry, where even Mr. Bhamra can correct me or support me in what I'm saying, is that from what we see is almost 70% of the market share or business comes from the top 25 companies. And the balance, over 3,000 companies, are MSMEs. Okay, those MSMEs are micro, small, some medium in nature. So the disparity is huge. You have a few set of companies who are getting bigger, better, more professional, and the MSMEs who are, some are yet struggling, some are moving upwards, but there is a massive disparity. So we want to understand from the panelists is how we can, get equipped to handle this given this disparity. And I'll start off with asking Kuntal Bhai. He's one of those top companies. Okay, his company is pioneered establishments of good quality practices, state-of-the-art machinery, and his company is equipped to do, has already done a lot of it, including moving towards Industry 4.0, which we are touching in a topic later. Kuntal bhai, what would you describe your journey towards upgrading your plant and the benefits it is accrued to you?
So, good morning, guys. Of course, there's only two ladies, and we've been a company which is about 63 years old. Started in 1960 because of Bosch. We came to Bangalore. We were a service center in Bombay. Then it gave us an idea that we should make parts for Bosch, which is going to be a very big market in the future and pioneers in making fuel pumps. So we make, and from there we migrated to making spark plug. We make the spark plug body, which is a very, I rated as the most difficult part ever cold forged. So we make about 1 million pieces every month. And it's a design which can nobody even think of that it can be. Earlier they were machining it. Now slowly it's cold forged in Germany and cold forged as well in Bangalore. But coming down the line, we are 90% of standard hex bolt manufacturers in India. And I see a big potential that these hex bolts are going to be a very huge market from India, which is going to be 80% of hex bolts being exported. So just 10 days back, I did an experiment on making this cold forge in a cheaper way. And I've developed hex bolt on a 1-die 2-blow machine. So you don't need an expensive machine to make bolts, but you can do it on a 1-die 2-blow machine. And that experiment turned out positive. All you need is one sliding punch and one X pin. That's all. So there are 80 to 90% of fastener manufacturers who own 1-die 2-blow machines. So 1-die 2-blow machines are maximum. So if you want to start exporting the bolts first, you need to capture them into the category in your field so that the volume which you have at presently in your own industry will not suffice. So you can outsource your job work to them.
No, so my question to you is, yeah, so from what he's saying, the entry barrier is very easy, right? Anybody who can just buy a 1-die 2-blow machine, a couple of them, for even let's say within, in a capex budget of less than 20 lakhs, can start a small, very small operation of fastener manufacturing. But my question to you is, that's fine, and there will be people
That's
who will
gonna
be
be fun.
manufacturer. But now, how do we start this process of educating them on quality and being globally ready? You can always supply to people in the domestic market for whom price is more important. Quality doesn't come in as a major factor.
Yeah, that's where we started.
Yeah. So now, given what you have done, your journey, okay, that journey will take a lot of time for people. But how can they slowly sort of have a focus without too much of capex involvement? It could be suggestion of quality centers, within major cities which are guiding. You can suggest.
So what I think what the Fastener Institute, what we have, should generate more quality people who are aware of fasteners, visit them and grade them up to a different level in quality. Because if you don't have the basic thing, because half of them are uneducated, they understand only the local language. So it's going to be very difficult. You have to have local people, say Bangalore, it's a Kannada, you have to use Kannada people to educate them to come to that. This is the level. If you go to Punjab, of course, except Punjabi, you will not understand any other language. So it's going to be a big exercise. So we have to take from major cities where maximum fastener industries are there. We pick up those guys, train them into educating them how they can contribute in quality. If you go,
So another approach I'm suggesting is, instead of, you're talking the lowest rung of
yeah,
new age entrepreneurs or otherwise. You already, like we mentioned, the top 25 are already doing their job and they're doing it fantastically.
Yeah,
well.
but that won't be
Then
enough.
within the MSMEs, there will be a lot, unlike you, like Jeet, like me, like Parag, who would have smaller, medium operations.
Hmm.
And those are the next, and there would be people who would be educated or would be aware of global practices. And maybe we should target that section next on upgradation of technology, innovation, and stepping it up from to meet global demand that we want. For
But,
the last rung, it's going to take a lot of time. It's a long run process.
but who's going to fund them?
Yeah, so that's what. Now we have to work together as an
Yeah.
industry.
So what? That's
Now
the
the good
that's
part
the
is we are all, Mr. Bhamra as heading one of the bigger associations of the North.
yeah.
We can all work together. I mean, actually, currently, for those who don't know, we are facing. We are right now been given a government notification regarding going for BIS certification, which is mandatory for all fastener manufacturers. Okay, it's a double-edged sword. It's a good thing because the idea was to weed out cheap China imports. The tough part right now is the cumbersome process that is involved. But what it has done has united all of us in many ways. So now we can look at, besides that, look at other issues which we want to handle, including these important ones which have never been touched. And we thank Messi Stuttgart and FASTNEX for putting this up because we've never had serious discussions like this and involvement from others. I hope we'll have a Q&A after this also, where we can take this further from here.
So what? So what's the highest market? Is exports, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
90% of Indian fastener industries has one die two blow machines.
Yes.
So that's the reason I said you can outsource that to the lower segment where you can get the volume. And you're going to export what China exports, maximum exports, slotted screws, Phillips screws. That all can be made on one die two blow machine. So you have a big base of fastener manufacturing in every city. If you go, there are about 15-20 factories making fasteners because one die two blow machine is the cheapest and the fastest way. And the saving on the export is 15% on steel, which you trim. You must know, Mr. Narinder must be knowing. You make maximum bolts, right? Hex bolts. So when you trim, that's going as waste. Yeah. But I'm using the same material to make more bolts. So absolutely zero wastage. Yeah. So we just, no trap. It's just one die, two blow sliding machine. One die, two blow, you need a sliding punch and a hex pin. That's all. I'm telling you, I've did that experiment and it's working. It's not a joke. You ask many other people who are making bolts, 4-station machine. Ultimately, you throw 15% of the steel out and sell it as scrap.
No, and besides that, you don't need a 4-station machine. Is not doing
You don't
the job
need
for
it.
that.
You don't
that.
need
Yeah, you don't
a
need
Taiwan
4-station.
machine, a 4-station Taiwan machine. You don't need it. You don't need all those machines. Local Indian one die two blow machine also will work. So that's how you start off exporting with Phillips screws, hex bolts, which is going to be the biggest market. Everywhere you need a bolt to tighten somebody, right? So that's how it is. And I'm telling you, it really worked.
No,
And you serve 15% of.
If it's a trade secret that you kept to yourself, then it's fine.
I
but
did
otherwise,
this. I did this
it's
experiment.
something where I think the entire industry will come running to you if you say this is done. So,
I did this last month and it worked. And I made the volumes of it, but it's coming out perfect. So it's a big innovation. I think nobody in the world has done it so far. It's doing this. Yeah.
So Mr. Amin has discovered something which, the hidden treasure which everybody wished they could find, but he's already found it. Now, how we can get it out of him, we have to see.
No,
But
I am.
which brings us to the point that since he says hex bolts is one of the hex bolts and nuts are one of the main sort of contributors to the entire fastener and the main product consumed by most overall. Which brings me to the question again now about competitiveness. As compared to China and even other countries for that matter, how difficult is it to be as competitive to meet global demand?
You will
And
be
having
cheap.
said-
You will
having
be
said-
cheaper than China.
So now I'm going to now since Jeet, who's also besides his manufacturing, I don't know if he's also kept it quiet here, but I'm going to reveal it to the world that he's also a trader, right? His inherent business is that of a trader, and he's moved on to manufacturing, which is a great thing. But he has experience of what works there. So, Jeet, what in your opinion are the factors that are making us less market competitive than China? And what can be done to make it more cost effective, given the fact that you've done, I don't know how many Shanghai stamps you have on your passport?
Yeah. So thank you, FASTNEX, and thank you, Message Stuttgart, to invite me and having me on stage. It's an honor and a privilege to share stage with such pioneers from the industry. Like I mentioned earlier, Kuntalji, I visited a factory before, and the passion with which he was showing his factory, it reflected and resonated throughout the factory. And it was very inspiring for me at that point of time. Coming back to where we are, so India's readiness for manufacturing high quality fasteners. While it sounds very simple, it's a very aspirational thought for most of the Indian manufacturers today. Everybody aspires to export, sell in the European market, sell in the US market. But do we have the facilities, the production, the manpower, the processes in place to ensure we can cater to them? So, and very nicely put by one client who had visited our plant last month, that we know India is not there yet, but we know India will get there. So they want to identify and find those manufacturers from now, because they know in the years to time, India is going to grow and it's India's future, even as per their understanding. Like them, I have also worked and visited with some of the best fastener factories globally in Malaysia, China, Thailand, Taiwan, Korea. I import a lot of fasteners from them and sell in the domestic market. So from a cost competitive point of view, I do agree that India is at a good stage right now to be able to service the domestic market as well and the export markets as well. It's how we take it and how we approach the whole situation is which is what going to take us for the next 6 months, 1 year's time. And coming back to Abhijat's question, I would say there are four basic things that if we as fastener manufacturers in India can manage, we will definitely be able to get there. First and foremost is attitude and approach. It's the most basic thing. Hota hai chalta hai attitude is very common in India. Nahi chalega. That's very important. So being very stringent and strict in terms of quality and policies is very important. It has to go top down and down top within your plant. Each one in your plant should, even on the shop floor, should understand how important that is. Another thing where I think there is a lot of scope in India is especially for standard fasteners is large scale manufacturing. Apart from the few large factories in India, we are primarily dominated with MSME and small scale sectors. So mass scale production is something which we haven't mastered as of yet, which there's so much potential out there. Knowledge sharing is very important. Here, we feel that whatever we have developed, identified, as long as if we share it within the industry, there is going to be an overall growth of the industry and India as a market. Today, all of us are competing or looking at each other in India as competition, whereas when you look at China, Taiwan, they are manufacturing for the world. They don't compete amongst themselves. Uh, Another most important thing which Sir also touched upon is having a fasteners training institute where the Fastener Association of India is on the right track, but definitely it requires industry support as well for it to take forward and make it successful. And innovation, we don't really invest too much in innovation, R&D, developing, planning for the future. We are very stuck in our day-to-day operations that we don't plan where we want to be 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. I think if we have this approach, definitely there's a huge potential in the Indian market. Everybody's looking at India right now, and definitely we can take this forward.
But there's a reason for that, right? Why people aren't investing so much more is India is price sensitive, right? Companies are looking to squeeze the lowest rung of C-class consumables, which is fasteners, which is actually so important to assemble it, but it's treated as the most basic thing because there is such a vast, supplier base that people, if they don't get paid for it, for upgrading or some value addition, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
So that awareness also has to come in from the end users that pay a slight price for quality. It's always you want the best quality and the cheapest price, which is a tough balance to match. Having said that, when we talk of competitiveness, one of the major factors which determines competitiveness is not in anyone's hand, and that's steel, which is a major part of the cost component. How do we work towards that? Or how do we see that steel can, the industry revolves around that, which Mr. Bhamra, I would like him to shed some light on. And also about how companies who are on the road to investing more in technology, innovation's a little further away, but at least technology, upgradation in many ways. I'd like Mr. Bhamra to start off with the steel as a cost component, and also as far as the investment is concerned, if he can shed some light, please.
Hello, everybody. Abhijat, the major hindrance which we are facing is a constant fluctuation in the prices of steel. See, every now and then, when we take any step to move forward, like BAS is imposed, MIP is imposed at 129 rupees per kg. So that will give us a big boost to the Indian fastener industry. But the thing is that the opportunists, the steel producers, the prime steel producer, they take a leap of that book and immediately, without any increase in their input cost or any justification, they increase the prices like 2,000 per metric ton, 3,000 per metric ton, and there is no justification as such. So this totally disturbed the plan of the MSC. Because once you have got one order, you cannot stock the material for the whole order. You have to get in the batches. So that is a major hindrance. And I must say here that we have been fighting for the steel regulator since a year. And I would like to put in on record that Dr. Manmohan Singh, who is a great economist, and he understands the economy and the crisis of the MSMEs. Once he came to Ludhiana and he took up the point of the steel regulator, and he agreed at that time that steel regulator is the need of the hour. But unfortunately, our political scenario is such that though willingly, even Prime Minister couldn't do. So there's a law, as the government is, giving every sport, DPIT is there. You ask and they are there to help you out. Even last week, I had a meeting with Mr. Om Prakash, who the Minister for Industry and Commerce, and we thanked him for imposing the MIP on the Fastener products. And I requested him that, okay, now see, we are in with a chance to produce more and more fasteners, the quality fasteners. That the thing will stop from China and we will get the more chance to produce the more. But for that, we need some machine, the latest technology, the 5 station, 6 station, to produce the quality fastener, the special component, critical component. And for that, we have to import the machines from China or Taiwan. And for that, I requested them that the custom duty should be reduced on those imports, so that the imports of machine can be encouraged, so that the manufacturers can go for the to produce a quality fastener.
So that's what we all need to firstly be, the industry needs to be heard by the government on several issues on steel and the arm twisting which is done when, as far as steel is concerned, we have no say, absolutely no say whenever the increases come. There is a MIP put on steel, on finished fasteners, which is a good sign, but that's just protection. We're not getting competitive that way. For that, we need government support for quality training institutes, like we mentioned.
Absolutely.
Schemes which are giving subsidies on technology upgradation. There was a scheme called CLCSS, but now it's getting hard.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
that scheme is withdrawn.
that scheme was quite attractive,
Yeah.
where we were getting 15% back
Yeah.
on machines up to 1 CR of investment. That has also stopped. So we need to be heard. We need to be recognized as an industry,
Absolutely.
and that has to work together from that point of view to be cost competitive.
That CLC, CSS even, we have been asking for the increase the threshold limit to 5 CR. Because now, if you have any machine, good machine for Taiwan, the one machine costs 2 CR. So the threshold limit is the 1 CR only for the MSME.
So inflation bhi hota hai na itne
That's
saal
what,
mein.
that's what.
After, if you have increased your micro and small size,
Yeah.
जो description का based on the turnover you increase the size, तो ये भी increase
That
करो
should
ना,
also be increased.
वो भी increase होना
But
चाहिए.
unfortunately, they withdrawn the CSS.
Absolutely. So that's what we all need to be heard. And the good part about, again, I'd like to thank Mrs. Stuttgart and FASTNEX that this is we've had this interactive session, because it's bringing us together in many ways. But it's just not only us, the entire industry. Okay, so one thing I want to make point out here also is the unity that some of the Far Eastern countries have among each other. We need to get here. Just because MIP has come and now we will get a slightly better realization on our pricing, this undercutting business among suppliers has to stop. We need some unity. Okay, I don't mean anything in any other way, but people have to stand for each other, have to support a cause. Sometimes look at not only benefit for themselves, how it will benefit the industry, give it back to the industry that we have. So yes, that's what I can say on. Anything else you guys will want to share, Kuntal bhai, before we open up for a Q&A session? Want to end on this and maybe have a Q&A. So we are open to questions and answers on this, if anyone has.
This is Professor Vivekananda, IIT Mumbai. Very nice. You opened up a very important issue of Abhijat ji to the other people to address, speakers, Kuntal ji, and then anyways he has also come out with a very good thing. It's all about the industry and academia collaboration, where anyways nowadays nobody is interested in the mechanical engineering streams. They all push, get into the CS, and then very unfortunate, very unfortunate. So since I'm an academician and then I do teach digital signal processing, it doesn't mean that I'm away from the mechanical and then civil engineering kind of. So the very important thing that you raised was about the students knowing the importance of the mechanical thing. Otherwise, we cannot go on importing. My country should produce such kind of, because FASTNEX is a CAGR at least 6% in the total. When I take the statistics, CAGR, my automotive parts, 6%. So my GDP is very high in that. So why should I ignore that? What is that I can suggest you is, in California, there is a Fastener Training Institute. You may be knowing. California, there is a Fastener Training Institute. They conduct regularly webinars and then kind of. So the industry gets into the conduction of webinars to the students and they get the enrollment very highly. Same thing, why can't the industry or all the institutes association can do that, so that the students can get into, may not be BE kind of, otherwise the short-term courses, so that they get certified and that certificate may be valid. In fact, AICT, All India Council Technical Education, where it is going to be merged with UGC also, when I raised this question, they were so much interested. Why can't you bring people or the association so that we can work out the curriculum? So I request you people to get into that, and then I can speak with them, and then we can form a curriculum so that a 3-month course that can be decided by you, so that the students can understand what is the need and they can get validated, because the certificate should be a valid one. It is not that just like that they get the certificate, they are not getting the employment. So terminologies, curriculum can be anything based on the need of the day, like the materials strength, etc., or the pitch, number of threads. So many things can be taught as basic 1, basic 2, basic 3. We can split that and then get into those courses and then advanced. Thank you so much.
My name is Yusuf. I'm a trader in Fasteners. But just this morning, we were talking about, Raghav and I were talking about this particular line about academic. Most of the say foreign companies are very strong in terms of how they present the data sheets, the technical information, and engineering wise, they're very strong. Even in India, if you go to any of the say top-notch companies who are consumers, including our own defense sector, they require very strong technical information as well as support backing, which we don't have. When I went to a certain DPSU, they kept a book of Bossard, Worth, Volhoff, etc. And says, this is the information they're giving. You can supply these parts, yes, but can you give me this information? This is certainly lacking over here. How are we going to come up to those standards? And you mentioned we are not competitors. Yes, I think the market is so vast. We are not competitors, but we have to collaborate. So collectively, we all can, grow. How are we going to, as association, will the association come up with some kind of a format where all those who are in this fastener business can collaborate? Thank you.
Okay, this is a topic which is very dear to us and is very sensitive. I'll tell you why. One, we are aware of the Fastener Training Institute in the US. We've been in touch with them all along. We know of their courses. We also know that another country, Taiwan, has a specific course related to fasteners in their engineering, which is offered to them, considering fastener is a massive industry in Taiwan. Barring that, there's nothing that we know of globally. Our Fastener Training Institute, Fastener Association, was the inception was, the seed was started with the idea of starting a Fastener Training Institute way back in 2016. We started the process. Our idea was to have a Fastener Training Institute for operators, right? Why? Because operators pick up whatever they can right now, currently from the operators who are training them. The new people will learn from them. They don't necessarily know everything which is right. So they pick up the same mistakes and that goes further now. There is no clear curriculum, like you said, that this is the right way to handle a machine, to manufacture a fastener. Our idea was to start that. We started a Fastener Training Institute where one of our association board members actually took the trouble of training faculty. We started an institute in Bhubaneswar, which was only for operators. Again, why operators? Because we see that going further, all of us in our factories, our workmen are not their next generation, their children, or going further, the new generation are not going to come and mess up their hands in this business. They'd rather work in an AC mall, you know, having a mobile next to them, getting almost the same pay as that. Why should they work in a factory and mess their hands up? So that it's going to get lesser. People are going to, which brings us to the next topic, which we will have later on, which is Industry 4.0, where automation is more a need than something that people want to do. You please tell me if I'm going overboard on time. No? I'm sorry, but otherwise we are passionate about this, so we keep on going.
I can completely understand, but we
Even I
are
would
here
like
to
to-
have these important
No,
discussions,
no,
so
I'm
please
more
go
than
ahead.
happy. I'm just
Even
telling
I would like to add here, sir, that we are Ludhiana. We're having two government institutes. One is Institute for Auto Parts, and one is Research and Development Center, and we are doing regular training over there for the people, short-term courses like on heat treatment, CNC operations, then this bolt makers operations like that. So see, we have to take the initiative to train the our young generation, our engineers, so that they should know such specific job.
No, sir,
For that, our association is also taking an initiative. We are doing it on the regular basis.
No, so I'll tell you the difficulty we had is we were churning out just 20 students every 2 months. The course was very basic, right? So if people expected that in 2 months, okay, so this was done ex gratia where the industry, there was nothing being sponsored. It was all being handled by the association. Sorry. There were people who were big enough to give away the machines, to spend on training. And that's how this whole process started. Once they started, the students were coming out of it. Like you said, they got a certificate that they have been trained for this. Like I said, in 2 months, it's 1 month theory, 1 month practical, absolutely basic training. You cannot start a machine. You can call the guy and you tell him, now start my machine. It's not possible. You then go through an intensive training within your company, but they have some awareness. They have some interest and they are committed to the industry. We had 20 people every 2 months. We were offering the industry to pick up these guys completely free of cost with no charge from the association for the services. We are finding it difficult to get those people being absorbed over time. And eventually some people from the association within, we would pick up the rest, because this is a need. My problem is the industry support. You're right about training institute, which we already dabbled into. Mr. Bhamra is also saying they are also doing in some measure to have these courses. We've had seminars from time to time. But what we would like is, we see a lot of distinguished people in the audience, but I can count the number of fastener people in this audience. I can hand count a few of them. There should be at least 50 or 100 people here to understand this and be part of it. Anyway, we are optimistic. This will go on. We hope it will get further and better. As far as standards and books or information and technical information, that's part of the agenda of the association. And that we can work together as we get bigger and be getting more heard, and this can be shared to us from the international stage itself. When you have these kind of information, these books, if we buy one of them, they don't expect us to be circulating to all our members. That's proprietary information. Because let's say a DIN standard or one of these things is coming at a cost, or let's say 100 euros, for example. We can't put it out in the association that this is accessible to every member, because those companies can come back to us and do. But what we can do is work with them, explain to them this is the upgradation we want to do, which is a long-term process. And we are in these discussions as far as, getting this literature and sharing it from that point of view.
Abhijat, I wanted to add one point. So basically, what they were trying to say is, while you all are working and we are working towards having a course for training the operators, have a sort of induction course or a level 1, level 2, level 3 course for the fasteners industry, which includes manufacturers, traders, suppliers, employees, salespeople, all of that. So that is something which can be looked at and which also should be looked at, because it's completely different for somebody who's trying to understand just the technical language and who just wants to be part of the sales process, not too much of the manufacturing process. For that also is some sort of induction program or some basic program can be planned, is what the California Institute primarily has.
Absolutely, those definitely can be done, and we've had seminars. If you notice, we've had seminars. Even our association, I'm sure they have had too. We've had seminars where we had technical discussions. Somebody might talk about the latest trends in electroplating or zinc flake or something about introduction to basics. We've had those also. But yeah, we should step it up. We need to step it up. Bottom line is we need more industry participation. That's what's going to work.
Yes. Sorry, ma'am. Only 1 minute, and then I know that he will also know the time of addressing me. Basically, some of the students of mine at IIT and then Kharagpur, whatever, people were also interested in the mechanical stream, although they were into ECE, instrumentation. So what I am talking all about is the fasteners accuracy. So there the texonic instruments, they try to get induced there and then know what is the need of testing the end product quality. So is there anything also that curriculum that can be framed so that from the instrumentation part of also we can pull these guys? They are interested, not that so if you can address that.
If you have a ready batch of students or audience,
fantastic, very nice, very nice.
You just tell us, we customize
We
it.
are
Very nice. Yes.
We need good manpower.
Fantastic, because my R&D, my institutes across, including the VTU, we have so many designs that we have made to get them into the interns, so that from the final semester itself they can do a project and then get back to about the accuracy of your washers, rivets, fasteners, anything that can be. Yeah.
Be done. Please be in touch.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning, the entire team of speakers. This is Suresh. I'm the project director for FASTNEX. Okay, I have a very fundamental question. Okay, Mr. Amin mentioned that Mr. Amin mentioned at the very beginning, Mr. Amin mentioned the cream of the fastener manufacturers is only 20% and 80% is all MSMEs. Okay? MSME. Okay, it's all MSMEs. Okay, so when it comes to BIS, okay, when it comes to BIS, what is the acceptance level of this 80% of people, and how conducive it is to in terms of steel price dispatch fluctuations and regulations by government? Why can't we have Chinese instead, so that I can fill up my hall here?
I'm sorry, what is the last sentence?
See, last sentence is, why can't we have China to be here, so that I can fill up my hall more? understood that.
Language
Abhijat.
barrier is going to be there. How will you make him understand what it is? He knows only Chinese.
Okay.
He will not know one word of English. And his brain is tuned only to 1-die-2 blow machine or 2-die-2
No,
blow machine.
I'm sorry, your question was why can't we have China opening up, Chinese labor coming into India?
What I said is, we have this 80% of MSMEs here. What is the acceptance level of them to introduce BIS?
Okay. No, the BIS mandatory is mandatory for every organization now.
Okay.
Every manufacturer, it's absolutely mandatory. There is no choice. If we don't have a BIS certificate, we will not be able to supply to any OEM.
There are a lot of concerns of the embassies.
Oh.
I fully agree. I'm going to take up the matter with the VAs. Because it's not easy for the embassies to get the license easily in comparison to the corporate sectors, large scale units. So we already take up the matter, and for the timing, it has been extended by the 6 months. So there are a lot of points I have noted down. I've already forwarded to the Delhi office of BAS. So we are expecting a positive solution so that the embassies can get the license easily and at lesser cost. Because right now the structure of the BAS is so cumbersome and it's so expensive that the embassies cannot afford the BAS license right now in the present shape. But we are hopeful in the coming days we'll get it done positively.
Hi. So I am actually a small manufacturer based out of Amritsar, Punjab. So we have had an experience of over 15 years, but ultimately everything sums up to the cost of capital that we have to incur to scale up. So if we could find a solution to reduce the cost of capital and yet maintain the standards and
Reduce the cost of capital. Either we get greater government support and greater subsidies.
Yeah,
okay.
we should.
So that's what. So we talked of the CLCSS scheme, which is there, right? That is for capital. That's also for technology upgradation. Unfortunately, okay, and let's be honest about this. A lot of people use these schemes for getting money out of the government also. Okay, so that also is a factor which hurts, right? And that money which could be genuinely used somewhere goes somewhere else. So it's a long drawn process. Like we said, we have to work a lot of things out. The good positive thing is we've got BIS, we've got MIP coming in. Now anti-dumping will come in.
Yes.
So it's a positive from that point of view. Now we just, like we said, we discuss together, we talk of how can you increase capital? That capital, the realization for you and for all of us, for the small medium guys, is that we have to understand that capital will pay off in the long run.
Yes, we agree.
Right.
But
Right.
point being, getting subsidy, like we started off with government with Bhamraji around 1.5 years ago. We started off with government for MIP and BIS and all that stuff. But point is, we have received a lot of resistance from importers or other domestic manufacturers who have converted into traders rather than expanding their manufacturing facility.
I'm not getting your point. No. The point is, if there is MIP coming in, BIS coming, is protection.
It's protection.
It's not,
it is not the ultimate
we've not done
solution.
anything to get cost competitive.
Yes,
Let's
it
start
is not
there.
the ultimate solution.
So yeah, exactly. You just got some support.
Yes, yes.
But that doesn't mean today if you have somebody holding an umbrella for you, you have to yet be careful and work as a solution as to how you can we can get more cost competitive.
Yes, yes.
How we can use our own capital wisely, step by step, and then get the benefits in the long run. Yeah. We cannot expect support from all angles. Yes, agreed. I know you're following the China template. China gets major subsidy in raw material, in other things. Fair enough, they get it. But then their volumes also are so huge that they will run one product on one machine for the whole month.
We are doing it. We are doing it for the whole year.
You're doing it. A few of you are doing it. Not most of us aren't doing it. Right?
We are ready to upgrade. We are ready to expand.
Mr. Bhamra wants to say.
Government come up lot of policies now. Getting practice in road right now. even up to 5 CR, you can get a collateral-free loan. So this is a very part of the government. And I was spoke to the senior officers of the banks a few days back, and they told me the loan which is good with collateral is good with the without collateral also. So there are a lot of schemes coming up. You have to take some initiative also, no? So the ball is now in your court. So you have to prove yourself now.
Thank you, all the members of the audience. You have been a very, very wonderful audience. We really appreciate the questions that you have put up, and this has been a very, very engaging session. A heartfelt thank you to our esteemed speakers for the enlightening session discussing some very vital points concerning the industry. Your insights have undoubtedly enriched the understanding of the industry, given your insider perspective. Now, I kindly request Mr. Mukesh Kharia, Division Director, Messe Stuttgart, India, to felicitate our distinguished speakers. We would request Mr. Kharia to felicitate Mr. Kuntal Amin. Mr. Amin, we appreciate your presence and insights. Thank you so much for joining us.
स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु.
A round of applause for Mr. Jeet Desai for being a part of this integral panel.
भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तट्टवागं स्वस्तये.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct pleasure of announcing that Mr. Sanghvi and Mr. Bhamra will be gracing us with their presence in the upcoming sessions. So, gentlemen, your felicitation is due on us. We are very well aware that many people in the audience are eagerly anticipating to hear more from these distinguished personalities, such as yourselves. So, we look forward to seeing you all in the next sessions as well. Thank you. On behalf of Messe Stuttgart, India and FASTNEX 2024, we are truly honored to have you all with us here today. I kindly request you all to stay for an official tourism. Mr. Kharia, please join us on stage. I would also request the project director for FASTNEX 2024, Mr. Suresh Babu, to join us on stage for the official photograph.